It's Ebro in the morning, and I'm bringing on Angela Hunt real quick. She got a new project, Mango, which really taps. If you run through the whole project, like I've had the pleasure to do, she's tapping into Caribbean vibes, of course. She's tapping into Brooklyn vibes, of course. Her R&B, all that is in there. Hip hop is in there. So, Angela, welcome to the program. How are you today?
I'm blessed. What's going on, my brother?
All is good. The album Mango. How many tracks on the album?
We have 12 tracks, and we actually have a remix of King and Queen, a song that I did with Taurus Riley that was on my reggae album. It's a remix, and we slapped the boom bap Brooklyn on that,
Yep, yep,
and
yep.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
So you, being a Brooklyn native, actually have a track on here called Brooklyn,
Brooklyn's on fire.
and you also, I think, one of your children is named Brooklyn.
Yes, actually, I really actually wrote the song with her in mind because I wanted her to know why I named her Brooklyn. I had to have a piece of my borough embedded in, my bloodline. First, I was going to spell her name Bklyn. I was like, she might have problems with that. Let me not do that to her. so I named her Brooklyn, and Brooklyn's on fire. That song really happened because I was watching the Brooklyn Nets one night. And, I'm a Knicks fan. It took me a minute to come around. And so I was watching them play, and I was like, dang, they on fire. Brooklyn's on fire.
And just
Brooklyn's
ran
on
with it.
fire. And just ran
So
with
now
it.
we got to make sure that the Brooklyn Nets, listen, after everything the last few years the Brooklyn Nets have been through, the Brooklyn Nets, y'all better start using this song. You got somebody from the borough writing a song that was inspired by your team. They usually do right by the borough though. Like when you go to the games, they very much embrace the youth in Brooklyn. It's a very family vibe in Brooklyn. A lot of
Yes.
the dancers and things like that, they have tryouts and all that for the kids and the dance teams through the Brooklyn Nets. So they've done a great job employing people over there at the Barclays Center, I'm told. When I show up through there, it feels like a family vibe. So they definitely need to lock into that record.
Yeah,
Now,
they do.
the album also, and this is important, I think, for, I know for me as a fan of yours, but also just a fan of black music. The way you bring so many aspects of black music, Caribbean music, African music, hip hop, R&B into all of the things you do. But specifically in this album, talk about the different genres that you cover in the album Mango.
So this is, I've been on this journey of really trying to pinpoint my global artistry, right? And I realized very quickly that that is not an easy feat. I was able to be very successful in that in my writing. So I am a genreless writer. I've written in every aspect, from pop rock to country to, drum and bass to you name it, I've pretty much done it. And it led me to, after traveling the whole world and writing all over the world, I was like, how could I just be one type of artist? I just don't believe in that. I do believe that there is such thing as a genreless artist
Mm-hmm.
that can just do whatever they feel. You don't have to label someone. And, I just remember like the main producers, that I work with, Buddha looking at me like, you want to do what? Like you just want to do whatever you want. And I'm
Shout
like,
out to Buddha, man.
for sure. And I remember playing like when I first started like saying, I'm just gonna do whatever I feel because I'm just a lover of music, any type of music. Especially my roots.
Mm-hmm.
And our roots are vast. They go everywhere. They go, from Latin to, African to Caribbean,
Soca.
everything, from compa to zouk to bachata to salsa to calypso to kaizo, soca. There's so many different, things that you can just play with. And they was like, what do you mean? And then you have to go through the task of trying to show, how do I make this seamless? And I put together a playlist and I played it for someone who was in music. And they looked at me and they said, dang, I didn't know this was the playlist I needed.
Right.
And that's when I knew, you know what? I'm just going to do what I feel. Even though my base core fans are Caribbean, I want to show them that us as Caribbean people, we were raised on pop music.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay for us to experiment with a little bit of everything. And I'm the first person to really like do that and then accept it because they're very picky. Like soca fans love their soca. And they've really embraced this hybrid. So I've been really lucky in that aspect.
I've watched several Caribbean artists, start in one place, and hip hop artists, all artists, I think, go through. Like I've seen Beyonce go through that, where even right now with Cowboy Carter or with the Renaissance album, where they branch out and try to expose their fan base to how vast black music can be, right? And in some aspects, people are willing to go on the journey, and others not so much. Just recently having a conversation with Shinsia, who made her first album was very pop leaning, and she apologized to her fan base for kind of how she handled articulating why she was branching out and understood why there was blowback, right? What that sensitivity though is based in, I think, the fan base feeling like you're abandoning them in some way, or like you don't value the culture or the music the same. And is there anything you want to say to that for the soca fans and for the people who might feel like, yo, but what about us? Or like I hear from soca fans all the time because we don't play enough soca on mainstream radio because soca is an acquired taste, right? And so there's certain records that can work, like when we was playing Patti Dunn, or when we was playing I'm trying to think of some other ones.
You guys are playing that as well.
Differentology.
Yep. Or even Bungie Garland's record that crossed over. But what do you say to those fans?
I think that people have forgotten that artists are in the business of giving the people what they don't know they want yet. That's what we do. Right? So we've become this sensitive thing, like this is what I want. This is what I want to hear. But I think artists also have to be brave. And, we're in this microwave generation where they want success and they want instant gratification. So there was a point in time where you would come out and you would do a song that no one knew because that's how you got people to hear new things. And someone, you weren't afraid to look at an audience member that might be looking at you like, why are you not doing my favorite song? But then at the end of the show, they're like, dang, that song was dope. I wonder, like, is she going to do it again? Or that's how you get introduced to new music. And that is like totally disappeared because people want to come out on stage and hear people automatically sing their song.
They want familiarity right away.
Right away. And that has become the staple. And that is something that the artists have to take back and not be afraid of that. I mean, I know it's really sensitive, but for me, I've constantly talked to my people, to my audience, and let them know Party Done was Party Done. We'll never do it again because we'll never be in that mindset again. We'll never be in that mood again. We'll never be in that room when we did it. I was pregnant when I did it. It's just not going to happen again. That's how records work. There'll never be another Empire State of Mind. What we will do is we'll go on to create something just as good, if not greater. Mm-hmm. And I think the audience has to give us a little wiggle room to allow us to do that. But the way that we, put it in is by letting them know, like, rock with me. Here's what we're going to do. Talk to them. Let them know. And don't be afraid to go out and perform all that new music that you have because people want it. They do want it. I'm not afraid because I've always been a risk taker. And I'm not here for the likes and I'm not here to be famous. I'm here to make music for people. I'm here to invoke emotion. You love it or you hate it. But I never want to hear that, okay, that was cool.
Yeah, you never want to be mushy middle with it. You want some real passion on one way or the other. Angela Hunt's new project is called Mango. I want to play some records off of it. I like the Brooklyn record. I like Wanti. What else should we play off?
I love Mango. That's a Wyclef Jean.
Mango. Okay, so let's play that. And also Gelato, though.
Oh, can we talk about Gelato for a second?
I was going to ask you, like, because that right there is ready for the summer.
It's we hitting. So I'm an Eastern Parkway baby. Anybody who's from New York City, if you're not from New York City, let's talk about for real quick, Ebro, what an Eastern Parkway baby is. An Eastern Parkway baby is a carnival New Yorker.
Yep.
Right, you know, it's a long parkway in Brooklyn where we have carnival every year in September during, I think, Labor Day. Normally,
Labor Day weekend starts on
All
a Friday, goes through the Monday, Juve Saturday night and the Sunday.
Yes, you already know what it is. And if you grew up in New York City, but especially Brooklyn, and you were a baby of Caribbean parents, this was your weekend. This was your weekend to come out and, you know, enjoy your heritage, enjoy all your music, all your soca gets played, you know, over and over and over and over and over again. But at the same time, we were like kids who, we live in this large Caribbean community, and we were raised like Caribbean kids. Don't get it twisted, even though we lived in New York City. But we still listen to boom bap. We still listen to, you know, all types of hip hop music, all types of R&B music. So that's what Eastern Parkway babies are. We're like a vast thing, but we hold our heritage like really, 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 really high. You know what I'm saying? So Gelato to me was like, oh, we got to bust this Eastern Parkway, because that record is ready to go. I teamed up with someone that I feel like no one would expect me to team up with, and she bust all over this record, I think in a way that no one's ever heard Fan, because lyrically and her delivery is bananas.
Bananas, right?
Bananas. And Gelato, you know, even though it's definitely a soca record, it is definitely an up-tempo soca record, I feel like there's a pop thing to it.
I was gonna say there's the way the beat is done. And this is one of the conversations Shani, my man Shani and I have about soca, is because, you know, soca has so many instruments going on at the same time that if you're not raised in that and you don't get the context of it, it's kind of like some people with gospel music. They don't get the level of praise and vocalization and background and instruments and breakdowns and things if you're not from it. Like if you didn't actually see it happen and you haven't actually felt it and been where it's happening live, you may not sonically be able to digest what's going on. I think that happens sometimes with people in soca because there's so much activity in the instruments, so many different percussive things going on, plus the vocals, it's a lot to consume. And so the Gelato record, when you listen to it, you guys have kind of the tempo and the instruments being used are soca. Right?
Yeah.
The feel is soca, but there's a kind of an openness to the beat and the production that I think will transcend for people who may not be able to digest soca.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, everyone likes a theme, and Gelato, it says what it says. You know, I got to shout out to Buddha and Andrew Hitz for that record because they absolutely killed it. And those are two people who are not afraid to take soca and just hybrid, you know, just do whatever they feel with it, and then out comes stuff like that. I'm really, really, really like proud of this album because I feel like it's the beginning of the journey for me, like just becoming a person that people can be seen all over the world and just say, hey, you know, there is such thing as a person who can just do whatever they feel in music. It's okay. And I think that will help a lot of other artists as well. I think they'll be able to look at what I'm doing and look at the response and go, you know what? You don't always have to like switch a genre and then become that genre. Like I praise Beyonce for that. Like, sure, throw your cowboy hats on or throw your disco balls on if you're doing this or you're doing that. But you should also just be able to be you and just sing a song, you know, without having to have all these things to get people into it. You know, I feel like I could just throw on a t-shirt and be me and sing whatever I feel and people will just get it because I've started to say, hey, this is going to be me. We good? And I think everybody's good.
Angela Hunt, the new project Mango. Let's play Gelato. Let's play the classic Party Done. We're going to throw on that Wanty as well. Angela, thank you for your time today. And, you know, hopefully once again, you know, you dropping music to set up the summer. You know what I mean? People respond. And, you know, I know you're going to run it. You're going to run it all the way through Labor Day. Then we're going to see you at the top of the year. You're going to be down there at Carnival doing your thing, crop overs and the whole nine.
the whole nine, and a bunch of other things too. You're gonna see us at festivals. We got a couple Soul House projects. We got like a bunch of things
Oh,
that
you
people
doing
are gonna
Soul
do.
House too? Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
We
you
gotta
back
bring the
outside,
culture.
outside.
We outside. So we got to bring the culture to the people because they want it.
There it is. Angela Hunt, love you very much. Thank you for
More.
joining the show.